Hey scholars, this is a video explaining the annotated bibliography and specific argument for your persuasive speech. So make sure you have that document out in front of you. That document's on the same module as where you clicked on this YouTube video. This video explaining the assignment. So this assignment, the annotated bibliography for the persuasive speech, is very similar to what you did for the informative speech. Same kind of format where you provide an annotation of the source and then you apply the CRAP test and then you give um, you provide the execution, the oral citation, the specific wording of how you're going to include this in your speech. However, this has an additional component. That's why it's worth more points than the other one. So the first thing is, if you look at the very top, it says the assignment requires you to do two things. The first thing is to provide the broad general topic that you chose. So which of the 10? So as a reminder, consider what I talked about in detail on the persuasive speech assignment, especially on the video where I go over each topic in detail and I talk about the nature of choosing topics and all the different topic ideas for the speech. So you're going to provide, let me know which topic that you chose along with your specific purpose statement. So you'll provide a description of the argument by explaining the problem, the solution, and then give me a brief explanation of why you chose this topic. So this can be, one paragraph or a couple paragraphs. It's up to you how you want to word things. So I put down here, I write, your description will look something like this. Obviously, yours is going to be a lot different because I did have a lot of blanks, but I'm just giving you an example of what the structure of the wording will look like. So I chose the topic of screen time problems. So yours is going to be, I chose the topic of, and it's going to be one of those 10. So as a reminder, it has to be one of those 10. There are no other options. So I chose the topic of, and then let me know what topic you chose. And then my specific purpose statement is, what is your specific purpose statement? What specifically are you going to do in the speech? What are you going to persuade the audience to do or to believe? So my specific purpose statement is to persuade the audience that, and then you fill in the blank, right? Whatever your specific purpose statement is. And as a reminder, that's something that you need to include on your speech outline. Look at the sample outlines from the textbook on Canvas. So for your final outlines that are due, you need to include obviously your topic, title of your speech, and then the specific purpose statement, and then the central idea. Back to this example, my specific argument revolves around the specific problem of, so whatever your topic is, screen time problems, for example, in this sample, there are so many types of problems within screen time problems. I already mentioned this in the persuasive speech assignment video. So what specifically are you going to be talking about? What's your specific argument? So my specific argument revolves around the problem of blank, which is caused by excessive screen time. Could be a number of things, of course. This is problematic because, let me know why you believe it's problematic. That's going to be based upon the research that you've done. So at this point, you've already been hopefully gathered all your sources. You have all your sources. You've looked through, you've read through your sources, you've taken notes on your sources. So you have enough information. You know your topic well enough, and you know the research on the topic well enough to do this thing, right? It's problematic because, and then one of the solutions I plan to propose is fill in the blank. The reason I chose this topic is a result of my own experience with, right, my direct experience, my indirect experience. I watched a documentary on it, and you're just basically telling me why you chose this topic. So that's something that will be very useful for you. Like when you write this out, obviously your speech is going to be much longer than this, but this is a very concise overview of the way that you understand the problem, the way that you're going to be talking about the problem and writing about the problem and speaking about the problem in a very concise manner. So again, like I said, it might be roughly a paragraph. And then the second part of the assignment is the annotations for all 5 sources. And that's just like you did for the informative speech. It's where you have the citation, the CRAP test, provide the citation, APA or MLA, the author year and so on and so forth. Then the summary, the summarization summary, a few sentences long, a concise overview of what that source entails, what that whole source is about. If it's a 200-page book, you're not gonna read the entire 200-page book and provide a detailed summary over the entire 200-page book. Nevertheless, you're going to provide a summary of what that book is about in general, more broadly speaking. You'll be more broad. Your summary is going to be a lot broader on a 200-page book versus a 5-page article. If it's a 5-page article, it's a lot easier to provide a more specific summary, more detailed summary. And then the crap tests, right? That's the credibility of where you got the information: currency, reliability, relevance, authority, purpose, right? And I already talked about all these things in the informative bibliography. And then the execution oral citation. So write exactly how you plan to include this source, how you're incorporating this source into your speech, word for word. You're not just writing, the way I plan to incorporate the source is. No, don't write that. Just write out the exact way that you plan to incorporate the source into the speech. And so once you've done that, so obviously you're doing that for each of your sources. So you're doing that for all 5 sources: the citation, summary, crap test, and then the oral citation. But now, after you've done that, now this assignment is done in a scaffolded way, right? So you've been working on the speech topics, to developing your speech topic, developing your argument. Now you're going to be doing the annotated bibliography for the persuasive speech, and of course the next stage is writing the full detailed outline, and of course the speech video itself. So after having done this on the annotated bibliography, you now have a lot of information, right? So some of you may have already started working on the outline. Maybe you're done with the outline. Maybe you have a skeleton outline. Maybe you don't have anything done with the outline. But after having done this assignment, you now have a lot of information that you are essentially going to sort of be cherry picking and copying and pasting from this assignment into your outline. For example, the citations. You're not doing an annotated bibliography. You are not doing an annotated bibliography for your speech outline that you're turning in, but you're still doing a bibliography, which is just a regular bibliography, which is just a list of your references. So that's going to be done, right? You just copy and paste the citation, not the summary and the crap test and the oral citation, but you're just copying and pasting the citation from this assignment, the annotated bibliography, into your final outline. And then, of course, with the oral citation, now you're, you in theory could copy and paste the oral citation and copy and paste that into your outline where it fits, or modify it, right? You copy and paste it, put it into the outline, and then the actual way that you're going to say it in the speech is going to be different in the outline. Hopefully that makes sense. I've talked about this before with regards to outline, which is to say that the outline is a blueprint of the speech. It's not exactly word for word, right? In your outline, you might say according to, and then you have the source, and then you have some information. But the actual oral citation is going to be a lot more detailed and thorough than that, and you don't necessarily need to have that word for word in the outline. All that to say that after having done this assignment, you've already done some work that you're going to now use and place that into the outline. Plus, this is also just helping to prepare your mind and brain about getting your mind and head wrapped around your topic and your argument. And I put here, just because you found this research does not mean it's set in stone. You can change it as you see fit up until your final draft is due. So in other words, you're going to have 5 annotations, 5 sources for the annotated bibliography, for the annotated bibliography. And then once you do your final outline, you might have a different one. One of the sources that's in this annotated bibliography, maybe it doesn't make it to the final outline because you realize, I'm not going to use it. It doesn't really fit. It doesn't make sense to include it. Or you might have a new one, right? You might have an additional source in your final outline. Some students have asked me in the past, a number of students have asked me in the past, hey, can I add another source to my outline if I didn't include it in the annotated bibliography? Of course you can. So after you're done with the annotated bibliography, you're continuing to work on your speech, you're continuing to write the outline and develop the argument, and you might realize, I need an extra source or two to incorporate into my speech, into my outline to help build my argument. That's fine. You don't need to tell me about it. You still need to include those in the references, in the bibliography, and the references for the outline, but not, obviously, it's not part of this particular assignment. Obviously, I'm being very, very, very thorough and detailed because I want to make sure I'm addressing to all the different kinds of learners. Some people, I explain something, you get it once the first time. Other people, I explain something 3 times, and then you finally get it. Anyhow, let me know if you have questions. And that's about it. Hope you're doing well. Bye.